Hi, my name is Jason Hewlett, and this is a review of Jessica Pettit's book, Good Enough Now. I'm intimidated even trying to review this book because it's such an important book, in my opinion. And I know that when you get this book, it will change the way that you think and assess yourself because it is a PhD in self assessment and doing something to become better in the world and for the world. She says how doing the best we can with what we have is better than nothing. Now, this book will challenge you in every single way, and it will completely change the way that you live every day and see the world from now on. I think it is one of the most important books I've ever read. And she starts with, just this concept that she says, look, I developed this head-heart action model, and I began to see it everywhere. When she talks about head, heart, and action, think about it. With our heads, we think first. Some people go for their heart first, where it's compassion-driven, and others are about action first, so just doing something. So are you more analytical? Are you more compassionate, empathetic, or are you actually going out and doing something with the action? And so she takes us through a very powerful process here. In fact, this is a workbook, and it will make you laugh out loud with some of her examples. For example, she start with a party of one. If you've ever been to a restaurant and you've been alone on the road, then you say, I'm a party of one. And I've been there, done that. But this is also, she writes, a time of reflection, a chance to get some things done, to enjoy yourself in a different way perhaps than you would if you were with people. And I love how Jess writes because it makes me think I'm listening to a person that is guiding me through this whole process and making me challenge everything that I've ever thought, but also to realize that it's okay where I'm at. I just need to step forward to do a little bit more. So I was having kind of a challenge figuring out what the head-heart action model was until she gave this example. She says, when you come across a new piece of graffiti, street art, or unauthorized mural, typical responses would be: 1, why would someone devalue property and violate a city ordinance? That's the head speaking. 2, how stunning and beautiful. The community will love this. That's the heart response. 3, how did they get up there? That's the action. She is so funny. This book makes me laugh over and over, and it also makes me go, oh my gosh, how am I doing? There are many graphics throughout the book, including things like head, pro, con, sheet, meaning what are the pros and cons of responding with the head, and the why or the what. So for pro, it might be understanding. For con, it would be heartless. For pro, attentive. Con, too many questions. Pro, focus. Con, resistance, etc., etc. She goes through this with the heart and with action as well. Action, good, meaning get it done. Bad, waste energy. Good, problem solving. Bad, too quick to take action. With the heart, this is the one I relate to the most. Pro being open. Con, calm down, backfire. Pro, authenticity. Con, not being taken seriously. Pro, empathetic. Con, too involved. I mean, I'm totally relating to these things. And she then goes on into how there is a graphic that's shared here that I love. Them, me, us, we in the middle. And so when it comes to how we see the world, is it them? Is it me? Or is it us? Or is it we? And because she's a citizen of the world, and she's a diversity speaker and challenges all kinds of ways that we think about ourselves and the way that we see others, and we judge, and we need to figure out for ourselves where we stand right now, how we can work on the party of one, which is us, how we're responsible for ourselves, our decisions, our actions, the way that we think, and can we challenge that to get to another place. She talks about her heroes, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and says on page 108 that I really love this. If we can fully stand with one another, that is more than enough to connect and communicate. We're responsible for who and how we show up with one another. We're responsible for doing our own work on what it took for us to show up in the first place. And then she goes into crucible moments in my life, key crucible moments. This was so tough for me to read in terms of just gut-wrenching feeling of those crucible moments that we've all gone through. But for her to then list out for her losing a state championship and what was the third rail response, hers is her heart response is her third response. And then she talks about the death of her mother or advocating for a young rape survivor, opening her first after-school program in South Carolina, and learning about privilege, leaving an abusive relationship, meeting a spouse, these types of things. It's beautiful, and it's challenging as well. I would have to say that Chapter 4, Leaving Room for Edits, might be one of the most profound chapters you'll ever read in any book, because we are so quick to judge by what we see in somebody that we don't even self-assess that or realize that we're judging them. And leaving rooms for edits allows us to get to a place of saying, okay, how can I be more accepting? How can I find it in myself to be at a higher level of less judgment, or changing it, or being at least aware that I'm judgmental and then figuring out a way to shift it. I'm just telling you, this book just completely knocks me out in all the right ways. It will do the same for you. I mean, even just things like on page 181, what is your go-to excuse? What have you done to keep yourself safe and hidden? What have you done to gas pedal into an uncomfortable experience? What was the result? How does this pattern show up? And then just giving us space to write about things like doubting yourself, negative thinking, fear of failure. This may sound really heavy, and it is. But this is equally so important to being true to ourselves, to building to your and on your strengths, to serving others. Jess Pettitt is a genius. As a speaker, she is over the top incredible, will make you think unlike most people ever can that's taken a stage. Reading this book, it's had profound impact on my life. And to know that I am good enough right now is a good thing. And to know that I can be good enough now by stepping into becoming better every single day, to learning more, to taking action within my response is first my heart. And so that's an easy place for me to feel compassion, but equally I may not take action as quickly as I should or think about things as well. And so I appreciate that she divides this book into 3 sections of good and enough and now, and how we can do something every single day with the party of one, which is who we need to work on the most. Like I said, this is a PhD in self-assessment, and it's a PhD in discovering our best way of living and becoming. This is a book you cannot not get. And I would also challenge that when you get this book, you'll probably want to get more for other people. It's that good. It's that important. This review is way too long. I don't even know if they're going to post it. But I'll tell you what, this book changed my life. It'll change yours. It's by Jess Pettitt, and it's brilliant. I'm Jason Hewlett. I hope you'll take a great chance on an author maybe you haven't heard of, or a speaker you haven't heard of yet. But when you read this book and when you see this speaker, you will be blown away. It'll change your life. Jess Pettitt, 5 stars. I can't give it more, or I would. I'm Jason Hewlett.